Hi, everybody, and good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Learning a Language Changes Life Forum. This is a free forum for everybody who is joining us to actually look at concepts around language learning, language acquisition. And I am very privileged to be joined with Miss Francesca Battista and Miss Gabriella Rosello. And they are joining us from Italy. And we're very privileged to have them with us. Miss Francesca Battista is an English language specialist, and she is also, in terms of the English language specialist, she's she helped people with business English and communication, and she's also the founder of F Actively. And that is her organization, her company that will help all of us learn a new language, especially English. Looking at English as the business language of the world, people want to become more fluent in English, and they can reach out to her. Can check out her LinkedIn profile. If you just type in LinkedIn, Francesca Battista, and it's right on the flyer that you saw earlier, put up on the screen. So, we also have one of our students with us, and I just mentioned her name. She's Miss Gabriella Rosello, and she is a SEN teacher. She's like a general education teacher with all our students. She teaches them everything, just like in our system in America or in the Caribbean. Teachers who teach all the subject areas, she's very similar to that, and we're gonna hear from her later on. I'm very excited about this program because it's about language acquisition, and as we say all the time, that language actually opens up avenues, and they're actually languages are actually bridges to different cultures. Once we learn some people's language, we get to understand a little bit more about them and a little bit more about ourselves in the making. So it's so important that we learn a new language, we dive into a new language, and more so that Francesca Batista is helping people to learn English, that all of us who are not so much fluent in English, that we reach out to her and get some deeper conversation in English so that we can actually speak a little bit more in terms of conversation with other people around the world. So we're here to just spend the time with you to for you to understand what is this all about with language acquisition, and that it's important. That's all. It's very important. So welcome everybody to this forum. It is Learning a Language Changes Life forum for all of us, and we're ready to begin. So, Miss Batista, let us have you on, and welcome as usual. You were on EduTalk, and now we're doing this wonderful forum with you here with everybody so that they can see and experience your expertise, right?
Hello. Right, I hope. I hope. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, as
Yeah,
usual. You're
you're welcome.
extremely kind and professional
You're
and welcoming.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. Before we dig into your presentation as such,
Right.
and to learn more about your expertise in the area and things that people need to know about language acquisition, give us a little bit about you. What got you to this point? Just briefly, because I know it's somewhere in there in your presentation, but I want people to see you and talk and let you share a little bit before you share your screen.
Right. Well, it'll be there. I will delve into the topic even better. But of course, yes, just to tell you a few words about it. Passion. Passion. It was
Wow.
passion. So
Yeah.
it was curiosity, it was passion, and it was also satisfaction, I would say. So satisfaction coming from being able to talk to people, to connect with people. that's just something you can't buy. It's something you have to experience, and once you experience it, you can't take it back. You can't do without. So,
Yeah,
absolutely, I would say that's my motivation that brought
yeah.
me here.
I really love the word passion because it's what drives us to do things that
Mm.
are very, very useful and productive in our world. And when passion drives you, you can spend hours and hours doing stuff that you love. And in this case, it's learning a different language to enhance even your marketing, your own marketing as a person. And
Yes,
speaking about where the business language is English, you the sky is the limit once you expose yourself to it, right? So
absolutely.
yeah. So take us into your world, so to speak.
Absolutely,
Yes.
with pleasure.
All right.
I'm sharing also my presentation I prepared for this for this forum. I hope you can see it.
Yes, yes. Clear. It's
Right.
crystal.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so absolutely, as you've already said, I'm Francesca and I'm an English teacher. More specifically, I'm a teacher of English as a second language, which is not something to, to take for granted because there's a huge difference between a literature teacher. When we're talking about language. People tend to get confused also with literature, with culture. Instead, language is something different. Sometimes it can be a very broad area in which you just learn how to speak to people in general, or it can be something related to business, to work, to professional language and vocabulary. So, or expression. So, it's very wide as a category we're talking about. And in this case, today we're all here, as you, Dwayne, already said, we're all here talking about the importance of learning a language. Because yes, I know it might sound too much, learning a language changes lives, but it really does. It really makes the difference. Um, I mean, I'm not talking about being a teacher, but if I didn't speak English, I wouldn't be here today talking about this topic with you people or with people connecting from all over the world. So it's really a possibility. English is really a powerful tool. And today I will walk you through my experience to what I think the important part of learning a language is. So basically, today we all live in a world that speaks English, in a world, in the era of globalization, in a world that is absolutely fast-paced, that it's global, that it's extremely dynamic. And we all need to keep up the pace. We all need to know where we are, and we need to anticipate things. We need to connect with as many people as we can in order to create opportunities for ourselves. So basically, I think that communication is key, and maybe English is, I would say, among the most spoken language in the world, for sure. It's very common to hear, oh, but you need to learn English to be able to travel abroad, to be able to just to get on a plane and explore the world somehow. So it's not just about working, but it's also about general opportunities. It's about personal growth. It's about broadening, your horizons. So my story began when I was really young. And actually, it began thanks to my family because I remember my mom buying me or giving me, for Christmas or for my birthday, she was giving me books or puzzles. My sister was studying languages. I used to travel with my dad a lot. So basically, English was really a natural part of our home somehow. And I think this is also key. It doesn't happen in every single family. It's not necessarily natural, but for me it was pure gold. And basically it was something um, that really boosted my curiosity all over. So I remember being curious. So that's why I wrote here a lifelong curiosity because um, I was speaking English naturally without spending hours and hours of study. I was listening to music, I was watching cartoons, as now many children do. And I remember, for example, when I was abroad with my dad, I remember taking advantage of every single chance I got, even just to ask for a glass of water or what the time was. Um, this is something I really care about, and this is something I also try to do with my students. And despite all of that, I never planned to become an English teacher. I know it might sound as a surprise, but I was into other things. I was into my artistic, musical studies. So the real turning point arrived when while during the pandemic, when I received my first job offer, and I was offered this position as an online teacher, and I thought, why not? Why not? It might be a good chance. And it was enlightening for me because the very first moment it felt right. It felt rewarding. It felt captivating. It felt challenging. And actually, I can say that it felt challenging enough to decide to take it more seriously. So the moment arrived, and I decided to enroll in the CELTA training, which is a globally recognized Cambridge certification. So basically, after this 6 months training, I became a teacher of English as a second language. And this course for me was extremely useful. So during this course, we learned how to design lesson plans, how to craft and create materials, even from scratch, maybe from the news or from YouTube, or from, also informal, I don't know, recipes or anything you could think of. Um, and so basically, this course taught me how to become a teacher aware of the dynamics of the class, and also a teacher who cares and who creates everything that's student-centered. So that's the key for me. I I don't want to teach because I might be good at English. I want to teach because I want to empower people. I want to teach because I want to support people. That's why. And since that moment, I've been teaching for 5 years. I've been by the side of learners of different ages. I've been by the side of professionals or students who needed to get a language certification. Uh, they were always looking for different things, and everyone had their own reason to want to learn English. And I also kept learning because I think that when you're teaching, learning never really stops. So you always need to be prepared. You always need to be updated. You can't think that you can possibly bring the same thing over and over and over again. It's not possible. You really need to engage your learners and to create uh, a meaningful relationship with them. So that's when my approach steps in. And I would say, but maybe Gabriela can also give you her her personal experience, later on. So I believe that my approach is based on empathy, on personalization, and on awareness over perfection. So I, usually the first lesson is a moment, is more a consultancy I have with my students. I I decide to have this moment in which I want to really understand and listen to them because I want to understand what their goals are, what their ambitions are, and I really need to know um, their reason because otherwise I can't create a personalized path, a personalized journey that can take them where they want and need to be and get. So these are my two main strengths, I would say. And the other great thing is that I don't really like to make people feel ashamed. When I'm giving my students feedback, I always think I don't want to use the word mistake, never, because I don't want to discourage them. um, I always try to ask them, okay, how can we reformulate this? How can we work on this to take it up a notch or to make it sound more natural? Because what I believe is really important is awareness. It's okay to make mistakes. It's not just about grammar and vocabulary. A language is a way of communicating your value, is a way to speak your mind, is a way to express yourself. You don't have to feel ashamed just because your the use of tense was wrong, or because you didn't know that that noun was an uncountable one. I need to know these things because I am the professional and I am the teacher. But learners, people, students need to see a practical transformation. So I think my approach works because people see tangible results. People are able to go on that holiday they thought it was too difficult to handle all by themselves, or people overcome that difficult job interview they thought it was impossible to handle. And they can travel. They tell me when they come back, they tell me, oh, I ordered a full meal at my favorite restaurant without making mistakes and making myself clear to other people. So that's what I want to support. I want to support global learners because I think that real communication and authenticity are key to create meaningful relationships and also to be satisfied, to to be really happy with the results of hours of conversation or of hours of um, also some difficulty trying to understand different concepts. So recently, I founded my new project effectively, and I can tell you it's a wordplay because the F of course stands for my name, and combined with actively, it sounds like effectively. So this is key for me because I think that to create an effective learning environment, students need to be active since day one. So I am trying to post daily, and what I post are micro lessons. So you can find little tips or micro lessons about verbs or vocabulary, or also open questions. So I want to engage people as much as possible. I would like to create this community where people feel free to connect with each other and just uh, express their opinion about a topic. And in this case, I also shared a couple of my posts. So in one case, we have an idiomatic phrase. In another case, we have an open question, as I told you. And my uh, my main idea is always to make all this student centered, so that they really feel that all this is working for them. I never try to work for myself. And at this point, once again, to sum up everything, I really believe that the English language, but languages in general, are empowering, powerful tools. So basically, I think that when you speak English, you're able to unlock your potential, to unlock the a better, I don't want to say the best, but a better version of yourself. And you can broaden horizons, you can connect uh, with people all over the world. You can open doors that otherwise might have just be um, been closed, you know. So I really believe that people should keep learning, should keep doing everything they can with curiosity. And if you want to connect with me, I would really love to keep the conversation going, and you can reach out to me either on LinkedIn or on Instagram at Effectively. That's my professional profile. So thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Very, very good. Yes. Love it, love it, love it. So, thank you very much. That was very comprehensive. Very, very comprehensive, based on the journey that you have taken so far, and then where you have been. Open up our eyes to what caused you to be so motivated on this topic, and seeing it through. That's very powerful indeed. Can you just a few questions I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
you about, yes, the overall theme of your project in general. So the what sort of experience you had when your family realized that you're getting into language learning? How were they their reaction to you?
Oh, they were extremely happy. They were extremely proud of me, I would say. Um, and it was also a nice thing because if I was speaking English, my dad didn't have to.
Mm.
So
Yeah, yes,
it
yes.
was also quite okay for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, they were really proud. It
You
was
you saw, yeah.
when I was still a student. like during high school, for example, it was translated in grades, of course, but then they realized it was not just about grades or being good at it as a subject at
Mm-hmm.
school, because English is not a subject at school. English is a language. And they
Oh,
realized, she's able. She really has friends all over the world, and
yeah.
she
And she's
speaks
capable.
naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's powerful. Honestly, I admire you for that. It's tough. It's really tough. Because the way I look at language too is like you're a baby again, and you have to learn to
Hmm.
speak from scratch. Like really, really gingerly taking words and like syllables and declensions and so on from scratch. And that's why a lot of us, including myself, we tend to give up from early because it's sort of stressful on your brain to go back there. But it's possible. What I found really interesting, and I want you to respond to this, with language immersion, I usually think, and I ask other people too, when you're learning a new language, do you is it more effective if you get into that culture and be an immersive student in the culture, or you can stay in your own culture and learn the language from afar? What do you think?
This is a real good question. I think it depends in terms of if let's say you want to learn English or you want to learn French, and you decide, okay, I might go there for a year or
Hmm.
so, or more or less, okay, the amount of time you have. Um, Very often in international big cities, you tend to have and you tend to find also communities that come from your original country,
Okay.
So very often people tend to get in touch with, I don't know, you're Italian, you tend to get in touch with Italians. You're Spanish, you
Mm.
tend to get in touch with the Spanish community that
Yeah.
you find in France. So, I mean, of course, if you decide to have this immersion in the culture, it's definitely possible and positive, because
Mm.
you will end up, it might be trivial, but really at one time you should be find yourself to do the food shopping.
Mhm.
So you are forced to understand, to pay, to read. Okay, what's that fruit? What's that? Uh,
Mhm.
that anything you are surrounded by speaks the
Yeah.
language.
Mhm.
So that's absolutely powerful.
Yeah.
On the other side, you can learn from afar. You can.
Okay.
You definitely can.
Okay.
But at the same time, you need to create your own opportunities to do that.
Hmm. So my
So I
other
always try to
question.
encourage.
Right, right. So that leads me to my other question too, where language acquisition is concerned and deepening yourself in the language itself that you really want to learn, especially that you're talking about English, to really want to learn English. About how many hours do you have to spend on it each day? Because if you, like you with your family growing up, I'm thinking you being in your family, they
Hmm.
encourage you to do what you love and you're learning English
Hmm.
in order to teach English. Um, how long should somebody spend per day on that particular language to grasp it in a reasonable amount of time?
Hmm. Hmm. Um, I think you gave the key because you asked how many hours per day.
Yeah.
So I think that it's actually about consistency, it's actually about doing it daily. Because sometimes I have to be honest here. Sometimes I get to work with some students or learners or professionals who are adults,
Mm.
and as you said, they need to take baby steps to
Yes.
become fluent. And it's okay, you need to be patient. But at the same time, people, adults especially, want to have results. Like, I started today, I want to see results tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impossible. You need to be patient. You need to be consistent. And when I ask them, okay, but it's not about have you started this week. It's about um, you need to. It's like going to the gym.
Yes.
You need to do it day by day, and you will see the improvement. You will. It will be tangible. You know, but it has to be. It can just be 20 minutes per day. But
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're listening to a podcast, as long as you're reading also just a short article from the news, as long as you're watching a video on YouTube, whatever you prefer, also just scrolling on Instagram. But
Ah,
you need to do that, and you need
okay.
to be aware that if you do that, it's way faster.
Yeah, yeah. You might be helping a lot of people like myself when you mention be consistent, like going to the gym, you know? You need to go and lift weight to lose weight
Yeah,
and so on. Yes.
yeah, you have
That's
to.
interesting. Yeah. Let's bring in Gabriela, Miss Gabriela Rosello.
Hi.
Yes, you are a student of Francesca, and
Yes.
yes. Can you walk us through your experience? Just you know what? Respond to this before we go to that one. How often per day? Because you started off, and we're gonna talk about your background a little bit. Spanish and Italian. How often per day were you practicing to learn and then speak English fluently?
Fluently. I would like to speak English as well as Francesca in the future because I'm always fascinated how she speaks English. What actually not very much time because as I told you previously, I have a personal method that is very intuitive, and Francesca knows perfectly this. I mean, it's very natural for me to learn the words, to speak in that moment English or Spanish in another language. I don't study grammar rules, and I use a lot Instagram, for example, because I listen to sometimes not very important things, but I try to accustom my ear to the intonation or the way to speak, phrasal verbs. I remember that I learned listening in another in movie or something like that. And with Francesca, we try to delve into my dot, my needs, because she responds completely to what I need.
Mhm.
If I want to learn some rules, or if I want only to speak.
Yeah,
So every lesson is completely different from the other. We don't
yeah,
have, I don't know to say, a perfect lesson that we
right.
follow.
You know what I like about you, and I said this too at the beginning when I first spoke to you on the phone. The way you pause, it's not it's very good compared to somebody who will rob just go on making sounds around learning the language. So they go off and they say, well, but you pause. So the listener, like all of us, the listener will stop, and then they will continue from where the thought stopped,
Okay,
which is
thank you.
very good. Yeah,
Thank you.
you have really good control over the
I,
language. Very, very good. It's
thank
very
you.
good.
I want to make you laugh. I wrote my thoughts on the paper, but I'm talking
Yeah.
what I have in my mind and at that moment.
It's
So
very good. It's very good. You're gonna kill
I
Francesca
think
with laughter.
I'm sincere.
Yes, yes.
Is
So
it
let me
possible?
ask you, what sort of, because English is sort of different and kind of similar with the background to Italian and Spanish that you grew up with, because we have the same Latin root for the most
Yes,
part. So
yes.
right. So how did that help you to transition into having a conversation with somebody like me who doesn't speak Italian or Spanish so well?
Uh, as well, for me, learning Spanish was natural. I started with this Peruvian teacher, and we made the first lesson talking about rules, tenses, something like that, and I don't know how to explain. It was natural for me to put the words and the verbs that I knew listed somewhere somehow, I don't know. And this in the second lesson, she told me, "What do you think if we do only conversation?" Because for me it was natural
Yeah.
to speak in English. Sometimes Francesca is a witness of this. I forget, for example, the word in English, but I remembered in Spanish. So it was a joke for us to for her to understand the meaning in Spanish, to understand what was the word in English, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And she always said, "You are bilingual," because
Yes, yes, yes. You honestly are. She's very right. She's very right. So let me ask you. I asked you this already recently. Do you, when you're speaking English,
yeah,
do you think in English or you think in Spanish or Italian?
I think in English.
You think in English. What does
I
that
I
look like?
don't dream, not at the moment, but I think in English.
Yeah, what does that look like when you, I know I'm Francesca, I'm gonna ask you that too to respond. Yeah, so Gabriela, what is it? Because the only thing I speak fluently other than English is Jamaican dialect, is the patois, what we call patois in Jamaica. And you will hear it in Bob Marley's song or other people who speak Jamaican language and grew up in Jamaica and sing or talk. So, but when I'm thinking, or I think in English, and then I translate it in that language, because no, if you had asked me that a couple of years ago, I would have thought in probably Jamaican patois, and then translate it to English. Like, how did you say that in English? But you said you think in the language that you're conversating, you think in that language.
Yes.
So, what does it look like in terms of your mental processing? Like, what goes in your mind when you're,
Uh,
yeah.
for me, it's very intuitive, is instinctive, and so I don't think in English. That's why sometimes, very often, I don't know, I'm wrong with the tenses or with
Yeah.
the right pronunciation of a word, because speaking fastly, I don't know how to say. Uh,
Fast.
yes, fast. It's possible for you if you don't manage handle perfectly the language,
Yeah.
to make errors or and mistakes. But I can't think in English, in Italian, and translate in English. I don't know why this is possible. Maybe when I write, I have to think deeply in what I'm going to write, but not when I speak. Right, it's correct. It is
But
correct, Francesca.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, when we have this kind of conversation, I think what we do is switching from one language to the other. And the
Okay.
thing is that we're both Italian,
Mm-hmm.
and we have conversations in Italian when, I don't know, we're going out or grabbing a coffee together or whatever it is. But when we're having conversation in English, it's like we're two different people.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Okay.
I think is that um, when you arrive to that point where you feel confident and you feel that you don't have to translate because words are just coming out from your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like there's no filter, there's no Italian filter, English result. There's
Mm-hmm.
just I want to express that thought and it comes out smoothly
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I reached that point where I can do that and she does,
yeah. Oh, wow.
you know?
That's
So
very deep. Yes.
I think the more you're exposed to any language,
Mm-hmm.
the more confident you are. And so you don't need to take the extra step.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, at the beginning, it's almost necessary to have the extra step because you always want to do, okay, but I really want to say this. How can I, in this new language that I don't master, that I mean, I'm not fluent. So
Mm-hmm.
how can I express this thing? I don't have enough vocabulary. I don't know so many things to express myself clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But when you reach that point, then it's okay. Then you're just enriching.
Yeah, yeah. So based on that, Gabriella, how far along are you? Do you feel like you're you're confident in terms of, being on a show like this and sharing, or you feel like you need to do more?
No, I don't. Well, I I am aware that I know better English than the average of learners, the beginners, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
medium. But I don't. I'm not sure. I don't feel competent and I don't feel fluent. I would like to get the B2 levels, the certification,
Mm-hmm.
but every time that I decided a date, I changed the date because I don't
Yeah.
want to face this moment because I don't feel at ease. Um, what I can say from my experience is that for who wants to learn another language, the big problem, the big struggle, if we can say this, is to be ashamed
Yes.
because the judgment is something that a learner feels very, very strongly. And finding teachers then can make you feel at ease in a comfortable zone. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
is very important because I meet Francesca because I decided to make a course with an Italian teacher that had a perfect, perfect British accent,
Yeah.
and I was fascinated for this guy, and I decided to ask.
Mm-hmm.
The person who made the first meet was Francesca,
Mm-hmm.
but for her was the last day in that company.
Oh.
So we meet. I discovered that she lived in my own city,
Yes.
and she gave me her telephone number
Mm-hmm.
only for greetings, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
I started the course with this guy, but after 2 or 3 lessons, I felt stuck because the behavior of this teacher, British accent, perfect, and maybe he could speaks English in the, I don't know, European Parliament, I don't know,
Mhm.
but it was not able to make the learners feel at ease, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I started to talk. We were three or four of us in the same class.
Mhm.
I started, I didn't speak till the end of the course.
Oh,
So I contact Francesca and I ask to her if it was possible for her to organize a course for me. And I'm still a student since 3 years from
yeah,
there.
good.
Yes, it was
Good.
2022. Yes. And she has this way of no judgment,
Mhm.
of kindness. She never says, no, 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 you are wrong. No, we can. No, she lets you speak naturally, fluently. Only at the end, she said, "Mm, maybe we can say this in that
Yes,
in that way," and
that's a good teacher.
you don't understand the mistake,
Yes, yes.
and
That's
this
a
is
very good
great.
teacher. Yeah, very, very
Yeah,
good.
very good teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, to finish your thoughts and your sentences before you fix something. Yeah. That's very, very good. Um, so Francesca, what do people normally come with in terms of learning English, especially in Europe? What do they normally come and like? Do they know a little bit of English when they come, or you have to start them off from scratch?
Oh, I think it depends. It really depends on the area they come from. For
Okay.
example, in Italy, we have, I mean, English is part of, the school subjects,
Mm-hmm.
but very often, I would say too often, it's taught in Italian. So
Oh.
it's like you're not having, let's say you have 2 hours of English lesson per week,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. It would be great for students
Mm-hmm.
if the language, I mean, if the lesson um were in English,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it's
definitely.
not.
Mm-hmm.
So, when Gabriela was talking about we don't learn grammar rules. I think she refers to we don't learn grammar rules the way we do at
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
We all, for example, one thing I learned, of course, during the Celta course, and then I applied to my teaching practice is using real resources
Mm-hmm.
and understand the rules from the context, from how it's naturally used, so that it becomes natural. You don't have to know how it's technically built or how you just have to get accustomed to all those structures and to make them yours
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
while speaking, for example. That's the main way you can just make something automatic.
Yeah.
So, for example, in Italy, it's very rare that people come to me and tell me, "Oh, I'm good at English. I just want to get the proficiency," or "I just want to." No, usually people get really stressed because I've never spoken English in public because I don't have experience. I mean, I just remember something from school days, but mm, you really need to be patient with me. I'm like a 4-year-old child. And oftentimes it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes they just underrate themselves.
Right.
But in other cases, for example, I know also the Swiss standards as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for example, they start learning English when they're around 13, 14 years old at school. again. So also in that case, they don't feel really comfortable with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, in Europe, let's say everyone knows a bit,
Hmm.
but also they're usually quite confused.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I like what Gabriella said, that yeah, what you mentioned too is be ashamed about it, like not feel scared to be ashamed. And
Right.
yeah, and make mistakes and learn as much as you can, and you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Making
I think that.
mistakes are they're just steps forward.
Yeah, yeah,
You didn't have to feel ashamed for that. You didn't have to feel guilty for that. Like it's not possible to make mistakes. It's part of the game. It's part of the
yeah.
language acquisition process because it's a process. You
Yes,
can't expect just the transformation in 3 days.
yes, yeah. How do you know, like, if somebody's hard on themselves in learning English? How do you know when they're, like, by just looking at them, they're hard on themselves? How do you know when they're actually changing, like to grasp? It's kind of like you see the change in them when they're grasping, even though they're very hard on themselves still.
Sometimes you just look at them and you see that they're very tense, that they are physically uncomfortable. And then they start getting more relaxed, more at ease, and they maybe that's why it's important for me to understand their interests and
Yeah.
their goals because I always try to use and to create lessons around their interests and their goals um, and they feel also stimulated from this. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say that you want to learn Italian and you like cooking. I will definitely use Italian recipes to
Okay.
to to let you learn
Yeah.
more joyfully because it has to be a joy and you have to feel brave, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I tend to praise them a lot.
Yes, yes, yes.
I tend to
Um,
tell them, it's okay,
yeah.
you're great.
Gabriella, do you do the teaching from Francesca? When you meet with Francesca, do you do conversational English with her, or it's primarily just teaching you the language?
And a conversation.
Conversation?
Conversation, yeah,
Okay.
because as she said, the rules come up while we are talking, and
Okay.
actually I realize because no sorry, sometimes I call my teacher and I say I'm very sad because I don't know English, I don't understand what in that movie or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, later I understand that I grow in English, but it's something that I realize not immediately. As Francesca said, is a process. And if I'm here now, here,
Mm-hmm.
that means that I can speak English and someone else can understand me,
Exactly.
right? Exactly. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. How is
Gabriela,
it? Go
can
on,
I
Patricia.
ask her a question?
Yeah, sure, sure.
This was this came unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a surprise.
No, right. Because I was thinking about his Dwayne's question, and when he asked me, how do you understand when people are getting more comfortable and more
Yeah.
confident and they're feeling they're letting go
Mm-hmm.
somehow. So I remember that when we first met, you were really stressed out. you felt ashamed. You told me I'm not able. I can't. I don't know if I'm able to handle a conversation.
Right.
So when did you start? How did you start feeling more confident?
In our case, I think that uh, from the moment when I have understood how to write an essay, when I understand
Okay.
the schedule of the essay, because before it was very hard to understand me the points that she tried to explain to me in for the test, right? Because I would like to get the certification and I have to understand how to write an essay and not only understand the essay, make me understand also how to write in Italian because this is something that I have a problem that I have since I was young. I mean, I write in Italian, but if I have to develop a topic, is something that I've always done in the surface level,
Mhm.
never in the deep.
Mhm.
But now I can do this better than before, also in Italian, not only in English. Yes, I
Yeah,
got.
Yes.
sometimes she writes stories. She talks
Yeah,
about personal anecdotes.
Yeah.
She's also working with a child at school, and she created
yeah. He
That's very
speaks,
good.
a
he
special
speaks.
relationship. Yeah.
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 No, you can talk to me when you want to practice your English. You can call me and say, "Hey, doing what's going on over
Okay,
there?"
thank you very much.
Yeah. She's so serious. Yeah.
I will do.
No, no, yes, it's real. It's real. Um, do you spend have you traveled to English speaking countries to practice? Just for maybe not so much vacation, but just to expose yourself.
Well, actually, I call a sister, is a very, very precious friend in Iceland, and we speak in English, and we met in 1990. She was a girl au pair here in Italy,
Okay.
and she stayed in my house for 1 year.
Oh, good.
And at that time, I didn't know how to speak English because, as Francesca says before, in Italy, we don't learn effectively how to speak effectively, yeah, the stress, how to speak.
She cracks
Yes,
me up.
Yeah.
how to speak effectively, how to speak English. And so I was very stressed in with this girl that she was from abroad, not a word in Italian. She speaks
Yeah.
only English, but she was Icelandic,
Mhm.
and that means that they speak English very very well,
Mhm.
and she does something like you in all around the world now
Mhm.
about educational
Okay.
system. Okay,
Mhm.
and this was my first experience. I have an aunt in San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
We speak English, and lately she said, "Oh, you are speaking very well now." Yeah,
Yes.
thank you,
Yeah.
aunt. And
Yes.
so I try to get advantage of every occasion that I have
Mhm.
in my
And
life.
Francesca is very good. If she didn't say Italian or anything, I would just listen to her, and she sounds very British.
Yes,
Yeah. The pronunciation and enunciation is very good. Some of it is even better than how I pronounce words as a native speaker. So it's remarkable.
Thank you.
Francesca, do you know Mirko? If we can ask them to share a question or so.
I know him.
Oh,
I
good.
Very
happen to
well.
know him. I happen to
Marco, do you
know him.
want to share, since you're on here with us, you want to share a question or comment? Don't know if he's
Let's see.
chilling.
Yeah, hi, hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Can you
Mirko.
hear me?
Yeah, what's your impression of us just talking away here?
Well, it was fun to hear from Francesca, since I was myself a student of her once.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And yeah, I can say all the same that Gabriela said about her. She has a way of teaching that makes you like liking the process of learning. And yeah, I can share everything that Gabriela said.
Okay.
And it was nice to hear some more of Francesca's background.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Marco.
thank you.
Yes, yes. Always a pleasure. So, Francesca, in final thoughts as we wind down here with the forum, what's your final take on this? And then I'm calling you on this spot because you're capable, and then I'm gonna give Gabriel. You're gonna share some last words here. You're the second one, but you have a little bit more time, you know,
To think about
yeah,
it.
to get your thoughts together. So, Francesca. Yeah, but let
Well,
me say something while you gather your thoughts here.
yeah.
And think about it. So for everybody who join us and will watch this eventually, we are we put this on because of what Francesca shared. The quality of her work and the motivation behind it is very interesting that you get somebody with passion, and she talk about passion from the very beginning, to share about her passion and to start this initiative that has become a program of hers, and in light of that program has become this idea and project that she wants to carry out in order to effect change across the globe for people who are wanting to speak English, wanting to learn more so that it can help them with their businesses and to do business across the globe. So it's not just Italians, but people who are in dire need of learning to speak English across the globe. So this is very important. So instead of sitting in your backyard or on your couch and going on Duolingo and trying to struggle by yourself, or trying to call up somebody from maybe a neighbor or a school, because sometimes honestly schools don't do justice to learning language. They actually, and the funny thing about it that Francesca mentioned, that in Italy they actually teach English in Italian language. They actually do that here too, where you want to learn a different language. A lot of schools, they teach you in that particular language that they're actually teaching everything else in, instead of immersing you in that language that you're learning. So what she's saying actually makes sense, where you have her as your teacher, you switch gear and you actually learn it and communicate in that language in the class. And it can be online too, where obviously she's in regions of Italy, and she can reach out to you in your living room, talking to you in English for you to learn English. So it's very important that you get that across. So um, we're closing down, and so Francesca is going to talk to us a little bit more about this, and then Gabriella, her student. So let's Francesca, take us into your final thoughts for this. And this is not going to be the last time, but your final thoughts for today.
Right. Well, so you made me think about my final thoughts because I can share one last anecdote for today. Um, it happened to me a couple of years ago to meet this 4-year-old child She's German, so at the time back then she only spoke German, and I don't speak a word of German. I might get by with French, but not with German at all. And I started having lessons with her 3 times a week, 3 mornings a week. And the magic happened because English, it was the only way, really. English language was the only possibility we had to communicate. And she was 4 years old, so she couldn't read or write, but she could understand me. And I remember we used to play together. We would go out for a walk. I would show her things and keep repeating them consistently. And she was learning. And let's say in a year, she was cracking out a joke. She was having fun with me. She was watching some short films in English as well with me. And it looked like a miracle, but it was just, consistency. So what I think, there are no other ways. You need to roll up your sleeves, and I know at the beginning it might be difficult, but learning English, learning a language, it's not about just new words. It opens up new worlds. So really you can learn, you can create something more, you can be part of something bigger, and it's great.
Absolutely. Yes, 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 indeed.
Definitely.
So, yes, okay. So thank you, Francesca. That's very important for people to understand, especially when they're getting into a language. So it doesn't have to be English only, but getting into language learning. And honestly, I'm taking that to heart too, for my own edification, my own self.
Yes,
Yeah, it's remarkable.
you should. I'm doing that myself.
In terms of the language learning.
Yes, I'm trying to learn French as well.
Oh yes,
So
you did mention it. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
You did
So
mention it. Oh my God.
we're all trying. We're all trying.
We're all in this game called try.
Right, right. Gabriela, what do
Gabriella?
you think?
My last thoughts. I want to confirm what was in your Dwayne, your presentation, how learning a language could change your life. And I got a friend, also a teacher, but also a friend. And now I know you, that you promised to help me in speaking English with a native. So English
Yes.
can change your life.
Yes, yes. Yeah, definitely. So
Um,
Francesca will teach me Italian. I will trade off English and Italian. I'll speak to you in English, and then you help me speak Italian too, while Francesca will do the heavy lifting, as they say, with me.
right.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and I enjoyed the evening. I wish we had some red wine to drink to our white, with
We
the thing.
should.
That's the only thing that is missing.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Francesca, thank you so much for being on. It's really a pleasure as usual.
Thank you
And
for hosting me. It
yeah,
was great for hosting us.
yes, yes. Gabriela, yes, continue your work with Francesca. It's very good. You did
Absolutely, yes.
a fantastic job with
Thank you
with
for the invitation. Thank you very much.
yeah, effectively.
Effectively,
Yes.
effectively. This is
Yes.
our way, effectively, moving
Yeah.
the hands, development, effectively.
That's right.
And if everybody wants to figure out what we're talking about, is effectively is the logo This is the logo for Francesca's company, Effectively. Anywhere you see that, look on Instagram. You have that as one of the companies on Instagram, Effectively. So you can check that out. It's very, very good. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being on. It's really a pleasure to host this Learning a Language Changes Lives forum. Really, really extraordinary work Francesca is doing. And for everybody out there who would want to reach out to her, please reach out to her on her Instagram, not Instagram. Yeah, you could reach out on Instagram to Effectively
Absolutely.
page. You can reach out, send a message. On LinkedIn, send a message to her to on LinkedIn. Just type in her name on the search in LinkedIn, Francesca Batista, and you'll find her there. Really awesome work that she's doing to educate people and to get them to be more connected, or get them to be more interconnected to with different people. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate this. All right, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I have, yes, this music that I want to finish off with here. So hopefully it's a good one.
Bob Marley.
No, not Bob Marley. No, not Bob Marley this time. It's something to do with learning
Okay.
English and the tense. It's very cool.
Lovely. Very relaxing.
Yes.
Sing me your favorite song. Translate for me as you go along, so I can better understand how you want to be loved, how you want to be loved. Living it up, you came in on a high tide, calling to court all my fears, letting it go, this wild untried emotion. Say it loud and say it clear, but you know we could talk from dusk till dawn, and everything in my world would make sense. Rewind the night, let's get lost from dusk till dawn. Pause it in the perfect tense.
Perfect tense.
And sing me your favorite song. Translate for me as you go along, so I can better understand how you want to be loved, how you want to be loved.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Lovely.
Lovely. It's learning
Lovely.
English with the different tenses. Yes, thank you. Bye, everybody. Walk good, everybody.
Bye.
Take
Bye
care.
bye to everyone.
Yes.
Bye.